Respected sadhakas, congratulations. In spite of being in this terrible Kali Yuga with such a terrible mind of fixing into worldliness so much that not even an idea of spirituality strikes that you can see in our classes. Thousands we have done. There are hundreds and thousands of people who know that these classes are happening. There are again hundreds and of them, thousands known to us. Not even one class they have attended. In that scenario, for whatever their priorities, etc., are there, congratulations to you because you are able to find the importance and the interest in these beautiful, ultimate satsangas on the Upanishads. There can't be any other higher, greater work profession than this. Though the result is slow, but then definite, and the result is so substantial that nothing can surpass it, and once it's gained, it's once for all. Such a jnanam, and when we abide in it, and great moksha will come to us, which otherwise can never happen, even though one with various activities can gain the artha and kama of the world, which superficially may give some comfort, but certainly they only are the bondages. Once again, congrats that you have chosen. And I wish and pray we continue not only studying but deeply understanding and reaching to the experience through the due sadhana. Keep up that jignasu in you. Keep up that mumukshu in you. Keep up that Shishya of the Guru Parampara and Guru Tattva and Swaguru in you. And then your Bhakta in you, your own Ishta Devata. He should be fed everywhere. And then outside, let us remain the Sevaka of the world and Sevaka of the Sanatana Dharma. This is how the life is beautiful, complete, true. Congrats. Together, let us again thank and salute and pray, requestingly pray, beggingly pray, ardently pray to the Parabrahma Tattva, to the Ishvara, to all the Devatas, to the entire Guru Parampara and Shruti Mata. Continue loving us, continue excusing us, continue forgiving us, continue protecting us, continue empowering us, continue owning us till we become clear in our state of inner being that we are true serious seekers to reach them. Until we reach them, the truth, all these five of them may protect us from all the directions. The Parabrahma Tattva, the Ishvara Tattva, the Devata Gana, the Guru Gana, the Shastra Gana. May all of them protect us all the time till we reach. Let this prayer be. At least once should be extended daily, if possible, more and more times. And every time more deeply, more ardently. What a beautiful Upanishad we are studying, Aitareya. How slowly, systematically it is guiding us in the knowledge of what and why is not the self, and what and why is it the self, and therefore how to meditate on that self and realize it. Before we enter into that study, 1 or 2 minutes as we do every day, today's our thought is this one. All our evolution is only these three things, not the fourth at all, only three. One is at all our personality layers: Sharira, Indriya, Prana, Mana, Buddhi, Samskara. In all these, whatever bad is there, whatever negative is there, removal of that is our first job. But the problem is What is that bad? Why is that bad? To have the clear understanding of it and to have the clear conviction that they are bad, therefore I must get rid of them. Then comes the most important thing, key the strength and energy, power, slowly, steadily to remove those bads, the negatives. At the body level, what are they? Negative means which is harming the body, which is not allowing the body to be used for its purpose, for which it is given. They are all called bad or negative. What are they? Think for yourselves. At the prana level, what are those things? At the mana level, most importantly. At the indriya level, so to at the buddhi level, so to at the innermost. Each of them. And like in our house, for enjoying the house, staying in the house, don't we go when we enter into that house to every nook and corner of it and clean it, dust it out, isn't it? Because anywhere the dust is there, there will be some type of allergy problem. So we sweep the room here and we go to all the walls up above. We go to all the shelves, all the windows, corners, isn't it? In the same way, at every layer of our personality, known or unknown, so much of the negative, harmful is there, in the form of habits, etc. They all have to be recognized and thoroughly thrown away. The whole Shastras talk about this only in their language because they are given to us long back. So, language, if we can understand it, then we know that those teachings are eternal because the problems remain the same all the time for the human beings. That is the negativities. So, recognize them. Which are the ones because of which we are harmed, we are suffering, we are feeling that excruciating pains in us, isn't it? At the gross level, just like we have disease at the body level. And such a pain, where it is, we know. We go to doctor and all the treatment. Same way, in general, first step of all our evolutionary things is remove the non-positive, remove the negative, remove the bad. Equally true, equally important is to understand and bring all the positives in all these our personality layers. Sharira, Indriya, Prana, Mana, Buddhi, Samskar. Whole life's job is only this. What are the positive things? At the samskaras level. In the intellect as a knowledge, in the mind as emotions, at the prana level as the right utilization of them, so too the senses and the sharira. So those positive things, whether they are understandings or the habits or the nature or the practice, whatever you call them, we have to go on inculcating them. Again, for this also, what are the positive? We must know. Why they are positive? We must know. The conviction that they are positive we must have. Also, the conviction that they have to be brought into our life. Like any commodity in the world, when you see in TV or anywhere, you just have an idea okay, what it is, what is its utility, do I need it or not? If yes, how to procure. This is all we do. What we are telling is nothing new, but we do it about the worldly things. We are talking now about our own personality layers. Worldly things, when you manage in that way, it's called samsara. When we manage our own personality layers, it's called the adhyatmikata. Then the strength to inculcate each of them, which call for some pains, some effort, some extra struggles, some sacrifices needed there, then bring those things. Like example, body kille, that laziness is a disease problem. Then that has to be removed. Then the active dynamism body should have. For that, we have to do those required exercises, etc. And at the very outset, gross level examples. So that every of the personality layer, each one, because each one's non-positives are different. So one has to recognize for oneself. We don't even think about it कि बहुत सारे ऐसे नेगेटिव है because of which I am struggling. That they have to be ruthlessly removed. Think everyone. Second is bringing the positives, isn't it? Both are tough jobs to recognize them and accept them as so, and then the conviction to reject the non positive, negative, bad, and conviction to inculcate the good, positive. बहुत इंटेंशन स्ट्रांग होना पड़ता है, विल पावर स्ट्रांग होना पड़ता है, प्रयत्न भरपूर जबरदस्त करना होता है. दैट इज एक्चुअली ट्रू लाइफ ऑफ अ ह्यूमन बीइंग. Otherwise, like eating and sleeping, mating and dying, every animal does it. Isn't this? Be conscious. To be truly human is this, wherein day in and day out we are conscious about all non positive and eliminating them, conscious about all positive and bringing them into our life. What are they? You list out lots of shastras we have heard so far. Homework to you. Then comes the third and last and most important one key. All these faculties we attend to have to be divinized in quotes, italics, underline. Every one of them have to be divinized. And for whatever they are used, they become so. So when they are all used for divinity, they all gain or gather the divine lustre, Lustre, the divine brilliance, brightness, illumination. Thank God we got an example yesterday, day before, in the form of that Saint Durvasa or that Rishi Kala who came. And they were explained to be bright, brilliant, isn't it, in Adhyat and more beautiful example than that is in the class before that. When we were studying the Vishnu Bhujanga Prayata Stotra, are we not told कि अनेक अनंत Surya and Chandra, when they are blazing in the horizon, one go, what is the brightness, brilliance? That is the brilliance of Bhagavan Vishnu. That's all the explanation in different words about the divinity only. And divinity is always in terms of prakash. The prakash के रूप में ऐसे बताते हैं. Like yesterday studied, today again we will see the pranayama sadhana when done, tatah kshiyate prakasha avaranam. Then it becomes prakashamaya. That is why the next sutra is tatah samadhi yogyata bhavati. Today's sutra. Isn't it? So, how much we are divinizing our faculties? Again, it requires, first of all, the understanding about what is the meaning of divinizing, understanding about the necessity of it. Then, all the plans, tricks, and techniques, every one of them we have to know. Like for the other two, also, the removal of bad, gaining the good. For that, also, the tricks we must know, the techniques we must know. Even after all these preparation is done, actually when we start doing, then all sorts of struggles come, isn't it? To counter each of the difficulty and struggle, that much of inspiration, a notch more. If the distracting, disturbing thing is 49, our inspiration should be 50, 51. Little more only. Like everyday class के समय, going to the class desire is little more than the other thing. Therefore we come. That day, when something else is more important than the class, we don't come. The day class is gone. Again, we don't even feel like listening it offline afterwards. See that inspiration. How many of us, when we miss a class, again go back and listen? If you listen, that's great. I don't think so generally, but those who listen, they are really. Otherwise, okay. But see, that type of preparation, that type of struggle, that type of the strength. And in this world of Kali Yuga, with so much of weaknesses in our faculties, especially the buddhi in it, the decision power about the correct things, and the willpower to execute or engage in doing that correct thing. Where is that in us? The thinking ability, decision making ability, the willpower to practice. Yet, any yoga it is, there is no way if someone wants to evolve and feel himself happy that he has really worked positively and got that evolution. To feel one's himself congratulating, sthiti aana chahiye, nobody can avoid. And it is the process eternal, consciously, till it happens. Continuously. Left to ourselves, immediately the laziness, lethargies, when they come, divinity is forgotten, good is gone for the dogs, only the negative comes. Bad only comes into life. There's no way. Like the body is impurities are removed by taking bath. Then you apply it with all cosmetics, the good things in protection of body. Then smear some bhasmam or the chandana kunkuma, you wear it as a divine. Means the prakriya, udaharanakle mataro. Doesn't mean that when you put chandana kunkuma, you become divine. Idea. In the same way, the removal of bad, inculcating good, divinizing ourselves. Again, understand what is the body divinizing, prana divinizing, mano divinizing, buddhi divinizing. You call it divinizing, you call it as spiritualizing, and all these are matters basically. But the matter cannot be without spirit. Spirit, not known as it is alone, is appearing as matter. So, like the spirit is materialized and we are stuck up in the matter, the highest achievement is spiritualizing the matter, where everything is divine in experience, not only in the intellectual understanding which we are gaining through the study of our Shastra, especially Upanishads. Every Upanishad talks that everything is Brahman alone. Brahman is the spirit, pure consciousness. So before that highest level, in between stage, divinizing all of them, using only for the divine purpose, not at all allowing it to come even a notch below, where again it becomes a matter and becomes a cause of bondage. You just look at Pujya Gurudev. Do you find anything matter in him? His body, the clothes he wears, the kadau he wears, the danda he holds in the hand stick, the malas he wears, the kerchief he uses. I know his words or his thoughts. There's nothing matter you can see in it. It's only pure spirit, pure consciousness, so much divinized. From how many lives he must be doing and accomplished. There is nothing undivine about such great saints. Matter. No, nothing is a matter. That's what Lord says in chapter 4. Janma karma chame divyam. Janma divyam means all my birth and faculties, everything is divine. Karma, whatever I do is the divine work only. Evam yo veti tattvataha. When one knows to deep contemplation, Tyaktva adeham punarjanmanaiti mameti. They will reach. So, conscious to know what are negative, keep on eliminating. Never substantiate them. Conscious to know what are positive, go on inculcating them. And conscious to divinize them. But इसी में anything other than is ignorance. Anything other than this is the creator of samsara, bondage, misery. Think. Good thought today Lord has given us. Let us see how wonderful is this. great grand Aitareya Upanishad guiding us. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Garavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai He. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Vyasaya Vishnurupaaya Vyasarupaaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Om Dhirime Gurubihi Purvam Vadavakya Pramanadaha Vyakyataha Sarva Vedanta Nityam Pranatosmyaham. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Bhavata Janata Suhita Bhavita Nijaboda Vicharana Charumate Kalayeshwara Jiva Viveka Vidam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam. Om Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvataitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamajalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguణरहितं Sadgurum Dannamami. Parabrahmane Shruti MAATRE Samasta Brahma Vidyacharya ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवप्राप्तिद्वारा मोक्षप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मवैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः साम्प्रदायानां साधनानां योगानां प्रक्रियाणां पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिकप्रगति एकता शान्तिकल्याण पूर्वभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्माकं सह अस्मिन् धर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये कंकणबद्ध सर्वेषां पूर्णायुरारोग्यादिप्राप्ति श्रद्धाभक्ति शक्तीनां प्राप्ति द्वारा साधन सानुकूलता प्राप्ति द्वारा बाह्य अभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा निरंतर प्रेरणोत्साह द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य दिग्विजयार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषदः पारायणम आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन प्रयत्नं साधना प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ॐ मनस्तापदमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छुटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. ओमथ श्रीऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद् शान्तिमन्त्रः. ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविरावेर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणेस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्वतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्. ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. पारायणं प्रथमोऽध्यायः तृतीयः खण्डः. ओम स ईक्षते मेनु लोकाश्च लोकपालाश्च अन्नमेभ्यः सृजा इति सह अपः अभ्यदवत ताभ्यः अवितप्ताभ्यः मूर्तिरजायत या वै सा मूर्तिरजायत अन्नं वै तत् तदेन सृष्टं परां त्यजिगांसतो तद्वाचा अजिगृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् वाचा शक्नोत् वाचा ग्रहीतुं स यद एनद्वाचा अग्रहैष्यत् अभिव्याहृत्य हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तत्प्राणेनाजिगृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् प्राणेन ग्रहीतुं स यद एनत् प्राणेन अग्रहैष्यत् अभिप्राण्यहैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तच्चक्षुषा अजिगृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् चक्षुषा ग्रहीतुं स यद् एनद् चक्षुषा ग्रहीष्यत दृष्ट्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तच्छ्रोत्रेणाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् श्रोत्रेण ग्रहीतुं स यद् एनत् श्रोत्रेण अग्रहीष्यत् श्रुत्वा हैवान्नमत्रप्स्यत् तत् त्वचा अजिगृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोत् त्वचा ग्रहीतुं स यथ एनत त्वचा अग्रहैष्यतु स्पृष्ट्वा हैवान्नमतृप्स्यतु तन्मनसा अजिगृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोतु मनसा ग्रहीतुं स यथ एनत मनसा अग्रहैष्यतु ध्यात्वा हैवान्नमतृप्स्यतु तत् शिष्णेनाजिघृक्षत तन्नाशक्नोतु शिष्णेन ग्रहीतुं स यथ एनत शिष्णेन अग्रहैष्यत विसृज्य हैवान्नमतृप्स्यत ओम शांति शांति शांति. We are into the analysis study of the third chapter, first two mantras of this Aitareya Upanishad from Rig Veda. In this, we are seeing the Adunatana, Viragins, Mumukshus, Jignasus are discussing with very good background knowledge. The first thing is they want moksha. Second is they know moksha happens only in the Atma Prapti Atmanubhuti. They know the examples of Vamadeva Adi. They had the memory of studying the earlier Shastras. Now, this much is known. Atma Prapti is the moksha hetu. But already we are Atman because nobody denies himself. I am is going on. Therefore, which is the I am which is going on, yet cause of bondage? Which is the I am which is there in us, but not recognized by us so far, yet therefore we are not in liberation. That was the discussion set in the discussion. Third layer we have reached to. First, the Sharira not me is very common sense. Whether we really practice it and experience or not, easy to understand without much of debate or discussion. Because I know the Sharira. Though it is a little tough, but little spiritually, Vedantically cultured person, thoda asan. From that we are taken to the Indriya Atma. Then it is so beautifully discussed and proved that the Indriya Atma also is an Atma, not the Atman. They came to the Mano Atma now. About the Mano Atma we are discussing now. In the discussion, the point is what? It is the Mana only, be careful, which is expression of our own Hridaya, that becoming each of the sense organ at the each of the Golaka level and doing the various functions of perceiving the objects of the world. In this, what are the things that are achieved? Other than the Indriyas, there is the Mana. This is understood. Indriyas are merged in the Mana. That is also understood. The Mana is the Mana which is appearing as Indriya and perceiving the world is understood. Therefore, if at all something has to be the Atma among the Indriyas and the Mana, it has to be Mana only. Up to this they came. But Mana also has got so many modes and moods continuously changing. Second, Mana also is appearing to me an instrument of someone behind, appearing to be used by someone behind, appearing to be reporting to someone behind. Who is that? On that is their inquiry. Now, here, right now, only we'll discuss one thing for 1 or 2 minutes. That final self, which whether these Adunatana sadhakas or Vamadeva Adi or any seekers of the past, present, and future, when they start inquiring about it, in this way they can inquire what is that which is enlivening the mind, knowing the mind, using the mind, etc. But the answer that this is not given objectively. Underline the word objectively. To such final inquiry or the question, the answer is in the form of subjective experience that it is me, not objectification. That's why every Upanishad as if concludes abruptly, as if vaguely. It is not abrupt or vagueness. Like in Mandukya, it was very clear. Very clear it was when the Chaturtha um, Pada, the Brahman, the Atman was explained. Nanta Pragnam, after all that is spoken, Adrushtam, Avyavaharyam, Agrahyam, Lakshanam, Achintyam. In Mundaka also we have seen Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avaranam. In Kena we have seen Yat Chakshusha Pashyati, Yena Chakshumshi, Yat Chakshusha Na Pashyati, Yena Chakshumshi Pashyati. Are you observing one common thing in all of them? Is what? That final inquiry about that is not answered as this or this, because simple common sense we must have. The self, which is the searching, seeking point in us, is such a subject that it cannot be objectified. And only fallacy in all Vedantic inquiries we all have is try to objectively understand the subjective self. Up to understanding level you can, but the self is not an intellectual understanding or concept. It's an experience. Therefore, I am Sat is not an understanding, it's an experience. I am Chit is not an understanding, it is an experience. Therefore, what these people in their inquiry will find is even that which is expressing as the mind but not the mind, employing the mind and knowing the world is the self to be contemplated. After this, nobody is seen in the meeting. Everybody will go contemplate and realize and experience. There is no again meeting to say that यार शो कि मुझे ये मिला मुझे वो मिला. सबको मिला, लेकिन वो ऐसा मिलेगा कि जिसको हम बाहर निकाल के we can't show. Again, as a concept, we can't be told. If it is told, it is told as it was eternally told. Ye nastad vyacha chakshire, ye nastad vicha chakshire ityadi. You and I, while studying Upanishad, are slowly developing in our conviction about the presence of such self in us. The later on, the conviction is experience of that self alone is a giver of moksha. At that level, these students are there. What is that? They are in the inquiry. Finally, they all will fail in understanding it objectively. But when they subjectively search it, everyone will pass in, succeed in experiencing it subjectively. है ना? दुनिया में कोई भी बंदा नहीं आत्मा को ऑब्जेक्टिवली दिखा सकता है, और कोई भी बंदा नहीं कोशिश किया तो सब्जेक्टिवली आत्मा को अनुभव नहीं करेगा. That is the beauty here. Okay. Now, yesterday's discussion is very beautiful. Where we have stopped is that is the uh, mana, which at every indriya level becomes indriya and does the perception. We are doing this bhashyam. Okay. Okay. Tad eva etad hridayam manahacha. That alone is hridayam. That alone is manaha. Ekameva tat. That is one only. Anekadha. It only appearing as many indriyas. That is why the next sentence was, be attentive. Etena antakaranena ekena. By this one antakarana. Antaha inner, karana instrument. Be conscious about these shabdas. This antaha instrument also is an instrument only, a karana, used by the karta inside the pure self. Our goal is that. Before that, from the indriyas to the mind level, we are coming this discussion. Etena antakaranena ekena. What is that antakarana? One, inner instrument one. Doing chakshur bhutena rupam vashyati. By becoming chakshu, it is seeing the rupa. Shrotra bhutena shrunoti. It alone by becoming the ear, listening to sounds. Ghrana bhutena jighrati. Becoming nostril, it is smelling. Vag bhutena vadati. By becoming the vag indriya, it is speaking. And Jihva Bhutena, again the tongue. It becomes the Jnanendriya, the tongue, the taster, Rasayati. Such alone. After this is said, Svena eva Vikalpana Rupena. Now, Indriyas ke रूप में mana alone is functioning. By saying so, Indriyas are understood to be mind, therefore they are merged or dissolved in the mind. Now, Indriya discussion is dropped. Coming to the discussion of the mana now. In that initiation of discussing about the mana, what is it is ki svena eva vikalpana rupena manasa vikalpayat. It alone, that antakarana only becomes the vikalpana karta, and that mana within itself does variety of vikalpas. That is what will be in the sangnyanam, vijnanam, ajnanam we will be told. Svena eva विकल्पना रूपेण मनसा विकल्पयते. वही विकल्पन करने वाला नेचर्ड मन के रूप में अंतःकरण ही विकल्पना करती है. अंतःकरण ओनली. सो अंतःकरण इज इंस्ट्रूमेंट. With its nature of vikalpana, it is doing vikalpana. At that time, it is called mind. Same way, hrudaya rupena, here hrudaya means buddhi, understanding. Hrudaya rupena adhyavasasyati, it decides. Nirnaya it takes. Now, how subtle, introverted we have to become on the seat of contemplation to clearly understand these things which are continuously happening in our own inner personality all the time. Tasmat. Up to this points discussions conclusion. Tasmat sarva karana vishaya vyaparakam ekam idam karanam. सर्वकरण विषय व्यापारकम एकम idam karanam. How many karanams are there? One only. What is its name? Antakaranam. What is it doing? सर्वकरण विषय व्यापार. सारे करणों का जो विषय है उसका अपना अपना व्यापार. That is the हृदय और बुद्धि अध्यवसायम of the mana, the vikalpana, of the eye, seeing, ears, listening, nose, smelling, all of that जो कर रहा है एक ही है. And that is sarva upalabdhyartham upalabduhu. There is another upalabdha is there inside. For his upalabdhi, obtainment of all these experiences or perceptions, this is one only antakarana. By saying so, the indriyas, the mana, buddhi, all are merged and said to be one antakarana only. That is the instrument for someone behind. Therefore, that someone behind must be the Atman for us to meditate, realize, and get moksha. Therefore, this Karana cannot be the Atman. Is this not we are studying in every of the Upanishad Shastras, Prakaranas, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Ninaham, Nacha Shrotra Jihve, Nacha Grana Netre. Same thing in a systematic manner. Here, the mantras, the bhashyas are explaining that such a conscious, careful mind say we have to listen and contemplate for our own grasp. So, if like Vamadeva, they wanted to realize, get liberation, they have to meditate like Vamadeva. If we also want to get moksha, we also have to meditate like Vamadeva and like these Adhunatana rishis. So, in their meditation or contemplation, as they have come up to the level of I am not Sharira, I am not Indriya, I am in self. So, Sharira is not the self, Indriyas are not the self. Now, the Antakarana also is not the self. Up to that, they came. So, have we come? And imagine the joy of the understanding itself that all samsara causing Antakarana, Sharira, ityadi are not me. I am someone beyond, eternal, immutable. Just if it clicks, will not all the worry, anxiety, tension goes away? It's like, you went somewhere, came back to a village. By that time, pura baad aa gaya. All the houses got flown away in that baad except your house. When you look at your own house, which is intact, nothing happened to it. What a joy it is. That's how the spirituality, except the self, everything we should say, bhad mein jaye. Then only we realize that self. That subtlety is the understanding which is outcome of our so many years of regular listening. Once we know that I am not Deha, Janma, Mrityu of the Deha, Jara, Roga, all of them nullified, no? That is the power of this subtle understanding. Then I am the self, not all this. Pura khatam nahi hua abhi. We have to do one more week of exercise till this entire Upanishad is over. Slowly, steadily, we are trying to gather the information, grasp the knowledge. Means they took their own time. They did not rush. Just vocally say that I am not body, mind, intellect, and again live life as Sharira, Prana, and suffer. No. They are systematically, steadily, like a scientist, inquiring, analyzing, spashta roop se they are understanding. Who is using what? The one which is using, he becomes the Atma, not the used one. Indriyas are using the Sharira. Sharira can't be the Atma. Indriyas must be. Mind is using the Indriyas. Indriyas cannot be the Atma. Mind has to be. Something beyond the mind is using the mind. That has to be Atma, not the mind. And that cannot be objectified further. That has to be abided in. But its nature, pure conscious existence. Recognized, I am that conscious existence is an experience, not an intellectual concept. For him, all these upakaranas of antakarana, again dividing into four, expressing as indriyas, are seeing the world, all at natak jamela is going on. Imagine if for 1 year, 2 years, this contemplation deeply we do and get that clear understanding of the position of the self being unchanging, untouched, position of all of them playing their play in the presence of the conscious self. Where is samsara? Where is the world? Where is all raga, dvesha? Where is kama, krodha? Where is comparison, competition, fighting? These are all nothing but the unwanted diseases of the mind. Mind can become like this. That doesn't mean mind should become like this. It becomes like that to trouble us because that which is beyond behind the mind is not recognized. इसलिए जब तक मन होता है इस तरह का व्यवहार करते हुए दिल में संसार. When the mind is transcended in identity and we recognize ourselves and know as a witness of all of them, then only the samsara goes. That's why today's introduction also this one. भगवान ने दोनों मिलाकर हमसे करवाया आज. What we discuss for 15-20 minutes is this thought only. Mhm. Now, remember, pure conscious self alone is antakarana. Pure antakarana alone is indriyas. Up to this, let us understand. But indriya rupi expression of the self is binding. Antakarana rupi expression of the self, when we identify with it, is also binding. Beyond that, the pure self, when we identify, liberated. Clear? That is why they are though Atma for the Vyavahara sake, but for the Moksha sake, they are all to be considered as the Anatma. And lot of quotations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our Shankara Bhagavan is giving to tell us that the conscious self alone is antakarana in the delusion, in the ignorance of not knowing conscious self as self. Like the gold alone is the abharana in the ignorance about the pure gold. Remember, never ever give independent existence to the ornaments. Gold alone is in the form of ornaments, and our goal is not ornament, our goal is gold. Be clear about it. At the level of the ornamentation of the gold only, there is samsara. Man alone is husband. At the level of being a husband, there is samsara. Without man, how can there be husband? Our goal is the man, isn't it? A free man, not conditioned by anything and any sufferings. That's why in Mandukya also we are studying, wherever that husband is there, there alone is man is there. Wherever the father is there, there alone is man is there. Wherever Indriyas, Antakarana is there, there alone self. But before that, we have to withdraw from them, actually realize the self. Then that is why it is said. Once the self is known, Antakarana, Bhashya Karana, with that the Shabda Sparsha, whatever has seen, everything is one Atman only. But after knowing it, that's the state of Jivan Mukta. Now, without knowing the Atmanubhuti, at this level, considering them as an Atman, their modification we take as ours, and wherever there is modifications, changes, comings and goings, it always is miserable. Like your child has come from the America or wherever you have sent. What an happiness. But the day after 2 weeks, that fellow have to go back. You become miserable. Because anything comes and goes gives misery. But my body is with me, it never comes or never goes. Therefore, I am at ease with this sharir. Even though that also comes and goes, at the time of going, there's a pain. Yaar, ek ang pratyang weak ho rahe hai. Tomorrow we'll see. Today or tomorrow, in our Vishnu Bhujanga Prayata Stotra last 3 shlokas. Oh, Shankara Bhagavan tells all this. Now, what are the quotations? Today we'll spend 5-6 minutes to finish it. Ki tatacha kaushita kina. In that Kaushitaki Upanishad, Kaushitaka Rishi को रिवील हुआ उस उपनिषद में. What is said कि प्रज्ञया वाचम समारोह्य वाचा सर्वाणि नामानि आपनोति. प्रज्ञया वाचम समारोह्य वाचा सर्वाणि नामानि आपनोति. By speech, all words are spoken. But which is that which is becoming the speech? The prajna. Here, prajna is very intelligently used by the Shruti Mata and Shankara Bhagavan to say that the prajna is the mind, and behind the mind, the pure conscious self only. So, prajnaya vacham samaruhya, through the consciousness, through the mind, through the becoming of Vani Indriya, the Sarvani Namani Apnoti. And how difficult is it to understand? Not. Is the consciousness behind the mind or not? Yeah. Is the mind is there behind the Vani or not? Yes. So I am speaking. Say, I said the word I am speaking. When this word expressed, at which part of this word expressed, the Vagindriya is not there? Everywhere it is. At which part of this Vagindriya, the mind is not there? Everywhere mind is there. At which part of the mind where consciousness is not there? Everywhere it is there. Therefore, consciousness, prajna, pure prajnanam brahma prajna, alone it is becoming the prajna, the vishesha knowing ability having mind. That alone to know the or to express the sounds becoming the speaking organ. Speech. Contemplate karo isko. प्रज्ञया वाचम सम्यक आरुह्य वाचा सर्वाणि नामानि आपनोति. है ना? Same man, सूट बूट कोट पहनकर he goes to office to become an officer. Different dresses he enters into, goes to do those respected works. He himself in the evening goes with that shorts or anything onto the tennis or badminton court. He plays that. One quotation. Contemplate on it. Pragnaya vacham samarohya vacha sarvani namani apnoti. Sarvani namani apnoti goes on speaking about the things, beings, etc. in the world, about them. Second quotation. Pragnaya chakshuh samaruhya chakshusha sarvani rupani apnoti. Same thing. Second one is Pragnaya chakshuh samaruhya. By becoming the prajna, the antakarana, riding on the chakshu, what it is doing? Chakshusha sarvani rupani apnoti. It is obtaining all the forms, etc. All other things also are told in that Kaushitaki Upanishad. Two examples are given. So, how many things are there? Conscious self, antakarana, indriya. Three. But actually, they are not three. For the sake of perceiving, we need that chakshu. For using the chakshu, we need the mana. And the mana is aware and owned and known to the conscious self. So consciousness itself at the mana level is mana. At the indriya level is indriya. Another way of understanding is, as we just now said, just like the forms are not there without the I is not there without the mind. Mind is not there without the consciousness. Therefore, the Atma of the forms, without which the forms cannot be, is I. Atma of the I, without which I cannot be, is the mind. Atma of the mind, without which the mind cannot be, is the inner conscious self. That we are. We have to identify with them. That's why in our other Shastras, what is told, ki the upadhis and the consciousness are so much chip code like that, the fire and the iron ball, that we are not able to differentiate between them. Same thing we so exhaustively studied in your Yoga Darshanam. Drashta Drushya Sanyoga is Hetuhu for the Bandhanam. The entire Yoga Shastra talks about the Prakriti Purusha Viveka. And in Gita we say Prakritistaha Purushaha Prakritijan Gunan Bhukte. Karanam Guna Sangaha. Guna means the entire Prakriti, Prakriti made Upadis. Guna is Indriyas. Guna is the Antakarana. Guna is the Sharira. Guna is outer objects. All of them are gunas, only three gunas of the Prakriti. Sangaha. Unholy attachment. Sangha is always of three types. Aham, mama, mahyam. That is me, that is mine, that is for me. These types of notions are the things called as attachment, because of which, though I am a witness, though I am not disturbed or troubled or touched even by whatever happens in the upadhi, yet I feel it happens to me. Like when the scooter of yours falls down, what has happened to you? You, nothing. But don't you feel you are dented inside and start shouting with that youngster who has pushed it? देखो, when your own son किस तोड़ दिया मानो cup and saucer, you become so angry as if he has broken you. If you can catch this phenomena, we understand what is the meaning of attachment, therefore what is the meaning of detachment. That's what Janakaji says. Mithilayam pradiptayam namedahyati kaschana kinchana. The entire Mithila Nagari is also is burnt. Along with the Rajya, the palace, the inner things, even this body, I am not getting burnt. From what standpoint is talking? That's the meaning of Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, ityadi in all our Gita Adi quotations or Upanishads. So, if our identity is at the level of the Sharira, Along with Sharira, Janma, Marana, we feel as if it is ours, though it is not ours. Like seeing the snake where it is not and feeling the fear. So, to when we identify the Indriyas, then Indriya Kanksha, Indriya Bhoga, then the inability in the Indriyas, it as if is taken by me because of only identification. That person is there, he has got eyes. Are you that eye? No. Then how can you be this eye? Isn't it? That person has got ears. Are the ears you? No. Then how can these ears be you? This is the question we have to know. So to at the mind level, it has become a habit for so many lives to identify the upadhi. That's what Bahunam Janmanam. They are all called strong vasana, strong habits, which made us habitually identify with. Everything, the house is mine. It's only a habit. Others also accepted. The vehicle is mine. It's only habit. Nothing is real. Wife, husband, everything is habit only. Even this body is me is a habit. I am a Jagrat Purusha, also is a habit, not reality. Only at the time of being in the Jagrat Avastha, I am say this. But where am I when I am in dream or sleep? अगर मैं जागृत अवस्था हूं तो जागृत में जो हमेशा रहना चाहिए बट हमेशा नहीं है मतलब it's only a notion because anything real should be there all the time. That which is not there all the time, it is not real. Then it's not called reality. Reality ka artha hi, which is always there in all situations there. Go on thinking it. This thinking leads to the understanding that all these which I thought as me are not me. Then in the rejection of them, what real me is experienced. That's why neti, 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 neti. Not this, not this. And that which we cannot say not this is me. These wonderful adunatana seekers are contemplating in this line. Patiently, perseveringly, slowly, steadily, without troubling anything, anybody, delicately, consciously. Like the thorn is removed or any operation करके डॉक्टर अंदर का वो जो निकाल देते हैं ना stones in kidney, gallbladder, whatever they do, or any wound operated, or the stitches are made. Same way, consciously, slowly, steadily, patiently, lovingly, spirituality may we have to detach from each of the layers of not self attached to the self. But for that, you have to have strength, stamina. We have to have the energy. We have to have the willingness. All of them are created by Upanishad Shastra Adhyayana. Thus, Upanishad indicates the goal. Upanishads indicate the means. They also help us in slowly understanding all this required things. Nowhere else you can get. In all other so-called Shastras, great things are told, but the outcome of it finally is to make us identified again with the Anat. As long as we are right with not self, the bondage cannot be avoided. Temporary sukha pleasure you may get. And if you say that is okay for me, you are a samsari. Everybody is doing that only, no? Who is a sadhaka wants permanent. Permanent is only in the self. Third quotation. This is one set of quotations. Here, the prajnanam itself is indriyas, it is said. Where we have to understand that in between prajnana and indriya, the mind is necessary, the mindness of the consciousness, followed by the indriya-ness of the mind, making the objects of the world perceived. Now, in the next set of quotations, mind itself will be told as the self. उसके बाद वाले में हृदय. So exactly two quotations Bhagavan brought Shankara to prove to us that consciousness alone is the mind alone are senses, but identifying with the conscious self alone is the moksha, not with others. Having identified the conscious self, then play the roles. Like the man, when he asserts all the time, I'm the man, then he will play the husband role, the father role. It won't bother him. In that playing the role, he knows the dharma and he does the dharma and he relaxes. बाद में क्या हो जाए, it's not in my hands. As a dharma, I took care of my child, put him in school, college. Oh, नालायक पढ़ा नहीं, मैं क्या करूं? I get him married. He is every day fighting with his wife. It can't be your headache now. You can't suffer. Then you are identifying them. Father suffers, na? Never the man. The man should have his manliness to do the job as a father, but not to suffer as a father. He is liberated. And be attentive, an interesting thing. Till we recognize we are the man and not the father, the Lord will send such sons who will make you miserable. Once you understand that I am the man basically playing the role of father, which is temporary, in that I have some duties to do. More than that, what happens, I have nothing to worry about. Like Varuna Bhagwan, he just does his duty of reigning. After that, kya hota hai? He is not worried whether the floods have come, whether the houses are drowned, or rivers are filled, or Haryali aa gaya. He doesn't bother. That's why he is liberated. That's why he is so big in size. Lord Surya. He gives sun rays. It is his dharma. In that sunlight, somebody is चोरी कर रहा है, डकैती कर रहा है, मर्डर कर रहा है, और लोगों का सेवा कर रहा है. This Baba Punya, he is not bothered because he is only finishing his dharma and going. Bhumata, giving dal, sabji, sab kuch humko, chawal, sab bana. But where somebody is using them in a corrupt manner and cheating the people or feeding others freely, she is not worried. She does as dharma. When the seed is sown, water is given, I will just make it germinated and give the respective crops. The wind god just blows and gives prana. Having lived, this person is a criminal or saint. The god wind who is entering into the nostrils of the saint is not feeling saintly or a criminal. He doesn't feel criminal, nor he feels himself a punyatma in a meritorious person because he is doing his job. Be attentive. In the same way, at the level of upadhi, whatever dharma required, that's it. No identification with them. This can be done only when we identify with the true self, because without identifying with this or that, we can't be. Up so far, we were identifying with this upadhis and suffered. Now, with that, tattvam asi. That's the meaning of that. Identify with that. These rishis are, or these modern sadhakas are now in that mission. Can we also, as a result of studying so many patients, initiate this mission? Consciously initiate the mission of identifying with the true self. अगर हुआ शुरू मतलब so many years of study has become fruitful, become, it has become, started becoming. गुलाब का जब लगाते हो, थोड़ा जब वो बड़ आने लगता है, you get excited. The purpose of putting this plant is fulfilled now. Started to fulfill, not yet. Only when the bud gets blossomed and that fragrance, that beauty, when you take it and put it in front of the Lord, if it is so, then you get finally. But the moment you see the bud, you protect it. Same way, budding. If you and I are aiming at the true self, like those Adunatana Rishis, the outcome of the sowing of the seed of studying of Shastras from such a long time is slowly budding. है ना, the schools ना, children school, छोटे children का budding school, थोड़ा बढ़ गए थे blossomed school. They give the names. You have to bud now. अगर budding नहीं हुआ तो पौधा जो है ना वो क्या कहते हैं ना, the नकली, not original, duplicate seeds. And the seeds are duplicated, the crop doesn't come. So what is the duplicating of our classes? We are not serious, sincere. When we are true and sincere, we are not duplicate. We are genuine seeds. They should lead to these buds or whatever the sprouts And what is sprouting and budding? I want to detach my identity from my upadhis. I want to identify with my real self. We may be absolutely unclear about all these things. But first, this basics budding comes. Because at the bud level, it is unclear. How big it gets blossomed, how many petals will be there, pollens will be there, each petal size, पता नहीं. But करते रहो तो होता रहेगा. As a result of our so many years study, if this happens, consciously, truly, deeply in the heart, and stays all the time. Okay, I have decided to identify with the self, detaching from not self. अगर ये थॉट एंटरटेन हो रहा है हमारे मन में, ज्यादा से ज्यादा जैकपॉट लग गया. We are the luckiest ones, because this is the purpose of the struggle of all the rishis, munis, and gurus and guru parampara through the shastras, trying to bring in us the transformation. वो लोग भी इतने खुश हो जाते, like somehow you bought or got the seat and put your child in the medical college. How fulfilled you become now. तो जाकर तो कर दिया उसको, now we will study. So to the rishi munis feel so happy once they see or know that you and I have got this thing in our heart. Okay, finally इसका अर्थ क्या हुआ? These are all not selves. There is self behind. We have to identify with it. I have to identify with it. इतना भी बन गया ना, you can give a party without telling anybody what is the reason. Then once that happens, then sadhana start. In between, while doing sadhana, struggles will be there. Upadhis will pull us down. ये खेल तो चलता ही रहता है. Like once you put your child in the medical college, fees देना पड़ता है. You have to inquire about him. If the mood is very good, he studies well, and that semester he clears so well. Other time he's somewhere caught up. Therefore he doesn't study well. थोड़ा एक में fail हो जाता है. वो चलता रहता है. But basic thing, has it happened in us? This is called as jijnasa. That is jnatum ichcha. I want to know the self. So to same thing in another negative way called as mumuksha. Means I want to have moksha. Mumuktum ichcha mumuksha. I want to get out of not self. Same things we are listening from 4 years. But it took 4 5 years for us just to come to a little more substantial understanding. In the Aitareya Upanishad level, आफ्टर मुंडा मांडुक्य तैत्रिय उतना पढ़ के अब आया धीरे धीरे बात पल्ले में. Again it will go away, fade away if you forget it or if you don't continue studying. लेकिन ना बड आ गया करके पानी डालना बंद करो, वो मर जाता है. इनफैक्ट व्हेन द बड कम्स, मोर वाटर यू हैव टू पुट. उस समय यू हैव टू गिव खुराक मोर. लाइक द वुमेन व्हेन शी इज प्रेग्नेंट, यू गिव हर डबल डोज, बिकॉज़ वो अंदर है, उसको भी देना है खाना. In the same way, when this seed came into us, we have to work more now for it to blossom. Otherwise, what will be use of that bud when it goes destroyed without becoming a flower? So, for more intense study, more deep contemplation, more regular in our meditations. करते जाए धीरे. इसी तरह see what more grandeur, glorious than this of spiritual unfoldment. Don't we salute and surrender all the great realized Mahatmas? Yeah, then why don't you want to become that? Mhm. Like in samsara, somebody got married, this fellow gets inspired. उसने शादी की, मैं क्यों नहीं करूँ? करता है. In spirituality, when that person has become great, why can't I? I will also. This comparison is to get inspiration. More than that, nothing. Finally, nobody is there in the world. I myself have to recognize it. This is what our Rubhu Gita yesterday, how beautifully Atma, Atma, Atma karke, how wonderful was, 5 things were told. Among them, the major chunk was only by the Guru Upasana, Guru Seva, Guru Krupa, this knowledge comes, stays, and takes us to ultimate. That's why every day we do our Rishi Parampara, Guru Tattva Smarana, along with Shruti Mata and God. Now you understand how our those intense prayers are helping us in the clarity of understanding. As the understanding is clear, we will not do anything wrong much. धीरे धीरे वो गलतियां कम होते रहते, जीरो हो जाए. What is the zero galti? As we started in the beginning today, introduction, other than pursuing self, nothing is valued, nothing is given importance, nothing is involved in. They are called the Prahaladas, they are called as Dhruvas. They appear to be everywhere, but they are with nobody or nowhere, they are with their own selves. Just like in the beginning days, we appear to be in the class, but never in the class. We are everywhere in the world. But sunte now, when we come to the class, we are in the class. So too, with all these, the clarity is anywhere. That's called Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam. Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangavihinaha, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam Nandate. Same thing is called Sarvada Sthapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvatha. These are all, every of the quotations where we heard but never felt the deep meaning of it starts meaningful to us when we, like yesterday, Vishnu Bhujanga Prayata Dhyanam, when we are practically doing Dhyanam. Now, are we not getting therefore now the idea that every stotra is for us to meditate as given in it on the Saguna or Nirguna Rupa of Paramatma. Same way this one. So the remaining four quotations, then the words that are used for the various modifications of the mind, Sangnyanam, Ajnanam, Prajnanam, the meaning of that they are understood. When they are understood, you'll be so surprised. Because the three things will be told there. One is pure conscious self. Second, that alone is becoming mind. Third, that mind alone is going through these various modifications, identifying with which we are unnecessarily getting bound. Either allow the modifications to happen but don't get bind, or don't allow the modifications at all to come. In either case, we are liberated. That interesting, engrossing, important, very essential discussion will be there tomorrow, day after day, 4 days for us this Aitareya Upanishads subtle understanding. So try not to miss. Om, 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 Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarshibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti MAATRE Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Gurudeva Sarvan Rakshatu. Yes.